I would say like being around positive people at Spark, because the way like being in lessons, if I don't contribute into the like much into the lesson, you'll notice that and you'll say like, Neha, you can, you even if you get the answers wrong, you can still contribute, and it will be good for you to do that. And uh like my confidence, that's the one and biggest thing that's changed, is my confidence in myself. Again, asking questions, it might not it is a daunting thing, like for everyone who's listening and watching, is that it can be scary, and especially over like online, because school, we've done loads of home learning this past year, um doing answering questions over online, the fear of getting it wrong, and my mindset has changed. It's not oh, well, I'll do it later, it's fine, I'll do it, it'll get done. It's like, I'll if I get set it today, I'll wait a few days and then do it. Or like you said, you set a timetable for the week and spend one day going through the PowerPoint, one day doing the classwork questions, then take a break, then one day do the homework questions, and then the next day reflect on what you got wrong. Like reflecting on what you've got wrong is also a very big thing, because then if you don't, you're not going to know what you've got wrong, and then you don't know how to learn and better yourself from them.
Amazing. I think there's some great tips in there as well for a few students, isn't there? So, I mean, what would
Yeah,
you
I hope
say?
so.
Yeah, I think so. So, what do you think you'd be able to take from Spark into your future then?
I would say I can like take a positive mindset and not have a negative, like, oh, I can't do this, I can't do that. You won't start off with, you won't be perfect at everything, or when you start doing something, you're not going to be the best at it.
Yeah.
But if you persevere and keep going, then you can. And that's one thing I've learned out of the
Amazing.
many things I've learned.
I'm so proud of you, Neha.
Thank you so much. Hi, I'm Neha and I'm in year 12, and I've been at Spark for a long, very good 5 years.
Wow, 5 years. And what type of subjects were you studying with us, Neha?
Well, when I did GCSE,
Yeah.
I did like English, maths, and science, and then for A levels, I'm just doing biology and chemistry. Well, I'd say like my grades were all right, like they were average, they weren't like amazing. But I'd say since joining Spark, they've definitely increased, and my confidence increased in answering questions in class, and just participating a lot more. And yeah.
I know, because I taught you in year 8. I taught you
Yeah.
in year 10, and now I am lucky to teach you in year 12 and moving on to year
Yeah.
13. So, like, I've obviously got to know and understand you a lot better. So it's quite surprising to me when you say you weren't able to you weren't very confident and your grades were very average, because I've seen a massive shift and a change in the way that you are. And like, I noticed, obviously, you came to us in year 8. And I remember when I first saw you, Neha, and having that first lesson with you, you were very proactive. I remember you always asking questions, and you sort of asking for clarification, which I thought was really great. But there was this sort of pivotal moment, I remember, in year 9, not year 9, sorry, year 10. And when I taught you for science again, explain to me, like, what were your feelings like before you started year 10 science? What were your attitudes towards science at that point?
I think it was, I don't know, I guess it was kind of I've always enjoyed science, it's really interesting to me. And I think it was from year 7 to 9, it was, I wouldn't say simple, but it was, what you learn in those years. It's not as detailed as it is now. And I think going into year 10 and 11, it was very eye-opening, and it was much more interesting to learn about. And it just made me more interested. I keep saying that word, but it was.
Do you remember coming into lessons and being like, I can't do chemistry?
Yeah, I do. I
Yeah.
still, to this day, I think, oh, it's so difficult. But I think if I would have kept with that, oh, I can't do it, I can't do it, I wouldn't have chosen it for A levels if I still had the same attitude. Like, it's changed a lot, my attitude towards studying and stuff.
I think you've got a really great, you've got a tenacious nature. And I remember you coming into those classes when I was teaching you year 10 science, and you'd be like, I can't do this, I can't do this. Every single week you'd come in. And I'd always remember we used to spend a little bit of time before everybody used to come in, and we used to have a bit of a chat. And
Yeah.
there was this moment in year 10 that I remember with you that, normally every week you'd come in and you'd be a little bit sort of like a little bit down in the dumps about it, and sort of beating yourself up about it, saying that, I'm not really great at chemistry. I'm not great at any science. I'm finding this all hard. But then there was this really strange shift. I won't say strange, an amazing shift that happened in you, where all of a sudden you were like, Mital, can you give me some more work? Or Mital, can you, like, is this right? And you started putting your hands up a lot more with, especially with chemistry. And you were like, oh, I can do this. That I remember that specifically.
Yeah.
You saying, I can actually do this. And then you were expressing to me how much you had enjoyed chemistry. You found it hard, don't get me wrong, but you were enjoying it, and you were enjoying your biology and your physics. And I thought that change in you was really great to see, because you accepted the fact that, yeah, okay, nothing in life just comes easy, but you had to work for it. And you did that. You got incredible GCSEs, right?
Yeah.
Would you mind sharing with us what you got?
Yeah, so in English and maths, I think I got a 6 in maths,
Yeah.
and in my both Englishes, I got a 7 and a 6.
Yeah, brilliant.
And then in science, I'm definitely very happy and proud to say that I got an 8. I did double science, so I got
Yeah.
a 7/8.
Excellent.
So yeah, I'm definitely really happy that I got that.
Oh, well, obviously you've been with us now for 5 years. What things would you say you're doing differently now than you were doing before? Or if I rephrase that, what things have you learnt from Spark that's helped you with your studies, with your well-being, that sort of thing?
Well, I'd say things that I didn't do before and that you mentioned was that I wasn't very, like, I didn't participate in class much. I had that attitude of, oh, I don't get it. So in my head, and even to this day, I've struggled with it, but I'm better now, is don't be afraid to ask questions in class, because yes, the answer may be wrong, but you won't know until you ask. And I do that a lot more, even in school as well.
Brilliant.
I answer a lot more questions.
I mean, I teach you. I'm very proud to teach you. One of the things that I feel that you do really well is, yes, you participate in the lessons. You contact me if you're struggling with something. We have really good banter. I might just add there.
Yeah.
I love teaching you, Neha. And I think as well, what's blown me away is the fact that change that I experienced in you in year 10, that midway point in year 10, where your attitude shift, and then getting the grades that you did at GCSEs, and then moving on to say, actually, for A level, I'm also going to be studying chemistry. I was on top of the world at that point, because I was like, yes,
yeah,
Neha again.
yeah.
And that in itself is an incredible journey, because you started to really believe in yourself. And that's, something that all the teachers here feel about you, that you've got that really great self-belief. You ask questions. You're a pro student. We really, really think that you've done a fantastic job. So what would you say are your top tips then for other students out there who want to do well at school? What would you recommend?
I would say that do your homework, because that it's a small thing, but I've learned that if you like don't do it, there's a lot that you can learn from doing your homework. It's just consolidating what you've done in the lesson or the past week. But and it depends what the homework is. If it's like for me at the moment, it's just exam questions on exam questions. And that is a lot that's really good for like prepping yourself to do A levels, and answering those like harder kind of questions, and stay on top of your work, because once you fall behind, it is difficult to catch up.
Yeah. So lastly then, would you recommend us to other students, and why?
Definitely, because like I said through this entire interview, it's just positive things. Spark has changed my mindset for the better, improved my confidence. My grades have improved tremendously. I can't say anything bad about them, and that, like, yeah. Like, of course, I'd recommend you guys to other students, and it's just good to have a tutoring company that is really does want the best for your like for their students, and you can tell that you do want the best for us.
Oh, thank
Yeah,
you,
I
Neha.
genuinely mean that.
Do you know,
Um,
when we get the opportunity to teach students like yourself, right, Neha, it makes our job just feel it's like we have a purpose, because
yeah,
and it's because of students like yourself that we're like, yeah, this is amazing. What we do every day is amazing, and you
yeah.
remind us of that every time. And every time I teach you, I just think, yeah, you know what, Neha's coming to the lesson. This is going to be fun,
Oh, it's so
and
sweet.
it's just, we want the best for you, and I genuinely want
Yeah,
that. And I know, Neha, that whatever you put your mind to, you're gonna be exceptional. I know that. And
thank you.
you're going to go out there, and with your ambitions, I know you're going to go out there and you're going to help so many people with what you do. Yeah. And I just want you to remember that we're always here to support you. So a lot of our students that finish A levels and then move on to university, they still keep in touch. I'd expect that with you.
Oh yeah,
uh,
definitely. You're not going to get rid of me.
I know. You always want to make sure that we're there to support you even after. So I just want
Yeah,
to say thank you so much, Neha, for being such a great asset to Spark Academy. We want you to just succeed and want that bright future for you. And I'm sure you're going to get there.
thank you for having me.
It's all right.